Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial session. From all the previous videos, you would have learned about spreadsheet, forms, data list, workflows, and how you build an app using all these components. In this session, let us rewind and let me show you how to build an app for a particular use case, say for example, task management. So let us start by creating an app. To create an app, you need to click here. Just click over Build New App. Now give a name for your app. So here I am giving it as Task Management. Now click Continue. Yes, you can see that your app has been successfully created. Now let us move to the Dashboard Studio or the UI Studio where you build the dashboard and also build all the components of your app. So let us click here and move to the studio. From here, you need to click Create New Dashboard and then click here. So this is our Dashboard Studio. Let me give a name to the dashboard. Say Task Details. And now click Save. So now our dashboard is created. And through this, we'll be creating our database. As you know, spreadsheet forms the database of your app. So let us go ahead and create our spreadsheet. For that, click here. Give a name to your spreadsheet. I'm giving it as Task Info and click Save. Now let me enter the attributes or fields that are relevant for this app, that is Task Management app. You need to have Task ID, then Task Name, Owner Details, then Priority, then Task Type. That is whether it is an enhancement or whether it is a feature or a bug. Then target date. You know that you can set data types for all these column names, and by default the data type will be string. So the data type for all these fields can be retained as string, and in this case we'll be entering a possible date. So let us set the data type as date. Now let me update the column settings. Now let me enter a sample data. So when we come to task type, I said it can be a bug or it can be a feature. So you need to have a drop down here. So in order to create a drop down, let me create another spreadsheet. I am naming it as lookup. Now click Save. I am giving the column name as task type and entering the options here. Now just click Update. Now let us go back to the first spreadsheet. So here, select the column name here and under drop down columns, select the source object as the spreadsheet lookup and select the source field as the column name task type. So when you update, you can see that you have got a drop down here. So you can select from the options. Now here let me enter a date. Now update. So now we have created our database. Now we need an interface to display this data. So for that we have data list. Let me create a data list. Here, let me select the source spreadsheet as task info. Give a name to the data list. Now you need to add fields to the data list. So you need to add those fields you feel is relevant for an end user. In this case, task ID may not be that important. So you can add task name, owner, priority, task type. Then let me add a column here and add target date also. Now click Save. Now let me add the data list to the dashboard. For that, just click Add over here. You can see that the data list is added here. Now, in order to add a new data to our database, we need to have an interface. So instead of adding data from spreadsheet, we have forms. So to create a form, click here. Select the source spreadsheet. Give a name to the form. I'm giving it as add task. Now save. Now add the fields to the form. And click Save. So we have created a form now. The next step is we need to connect this form to the data list. So let us open the data list that we had created. So here, scroll down to select form. You can see the form from the drop down. Now select it and click Update. From the widget settings here, you need to enable real time so that when you enter a new record through form, the data list gets updated in real time. Now update the dashboard. Click View. You can see that there is an add button here. If you click add, the form gets opened and you can add a new record. Now let us understand how to integrate a workflow to our app. Here I want to display a notification when a user submits a new task. So for this I have created a workflow here. This workflow has an entry block, a condition block and notification blocks. So inside the condition block, I check if the task type is a feature. If yes, an appropriate notification will be displayed. So inside the notification block, I have given the message that I want to display when the user submits the task. And if the condition is false, that is, if it is not a feature, then an appropriate notification will be displayed. That, thank you for submitting your task as a bug. Now let us go back to the Dashboard Studio. I need to connect this workflow to the form. So for that, let me open the form builder. Scroll down to After Save. Here I need to connect the workflow under After Save because I want the workflow to get executed when the user submits a new form. Select the workflow and click Update. Now close the form builder. Let us see how this works. Click View. Now let me add a new record. Give the task ID, task name, owner email, then priority, Task type, I am selecting it as feature, then target date. Now click save. You can see that when I click save, the workflow gets executed and you get the notification here. Now let us move on to a very important tool, which is the Workflow Debugger. Workflow Debugger shows you the workflow execution path and helps you to debug each of the workflow blocks. So first of all, you need to enable the workflow logs. So here it is enabled. Now let us test the workflow. You have the log ID here. Click on it. So this is the Workflow Debugger. The first block is shown as the active debugging block, and you can see the workflow execution path here. You can click on the next block or click the arrow here to move to the next block. Here you can find details such as how long the workflow took to execute, the data that is passed through each block, and the output from each block. In this case, you can see the output of the condition block, it is false. If you click on the next block, you can see the notification here. So we have come to an end to this session. Hope this session was informative. Thank you for watching.